are live. Let me adjust this. Okay. Look who's here, everybody.
What's up, everyone?
Yay! It's my brother, my twinny, NEERAJA, back on the YouTube. I'm so excited you're here. We're doing a video. And yeah, want to give everybody a little update. You were just doing some videos, I know.
I was indeed.
Yeah. Share about those.
Making videos on Vedic astrology and mixing it with tarot as a co-creation collaboration with my really beautiful friend Asta from India, and you can check out those videos. Maybe we can drop a link or something for them.
Yeah, for sure. We'll share the channel in the description after we go live. Let us know, guys, where you're tuning in from, and if you can hear us okay, and start sending in your questions. There's like no topic that is really like we won't discuss. So shoot your questions in. We're happy to answer. My brother is also really, really fascinating and has a lot of knowledge on astrology in particular. So if anybody's kind of curious about that, we can touch on that a little bit. Hi, Elise. Welcome, welcome. Oops, here we go. Hey, Saranka. Always love to have you on here. Yes, so great to see you. And really quick, guys, announcement before I always forget to do this. We're going to be doing a joint workshop together, guys. Super excited. We just planned it this morning. We are going to be doing one at the end of the month on January 29th. So mark your calendars, set it aside. It's going to be a daytime workshop. It's going to be about 5 to 6 hours long. It's going to be so jam-packed with super amazing infos, particularly on Ayurveda and astrology, how they merge, how they in our daily lives. And it's going to be on the topic of macrocosm to microcosm, the universe inside of you, and how we can basically utilize these sciences to empower, awaken, and transform our daily lives. It's going to be juicy. It's going to be really juicy. And NEERAJA is going to be there teaching and talking on astrology from a really powerful spiritual context, which he uniquely brings to the table with astrology. And I'll be sharing from the Ayurvedic lens, talking a lot about the elements, the 5 elements, our connection to nature, and nature as a reflection of our inner world, inner health, inner happiness. So it's going to be a fun one. I'll drop the link at the end as well. It's going to be on Eventbrite again for those of you guys that signed up for the last workshop. It's going to be hosted on Zoom, so you can tune in wherever that you are in the world. Really hope to have some of you guys on there, chat personally, get to see your faces, and share this beautiful, beautiful knowledge. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm really honored to be invited by my sister to share on her channel and to co-create with her something that we're both passionate about totally and immersed in, that we get to merge them together and deliver as much value as possible for everyone else who's part of our hearts and lives and social media circles.
It's gonna be cool. I'm very excited. It's one of my all-time favorite topics probably to actually get to speak on. So I'm stoked because a lot of you guys, when I was asking you on here and on Instagram what topics you wanted to hear about as well, we're a lot into the spiritual, of course, naturally, right? My channel has kind of always been first and foremost about spirituality. And so I think this is... Huh?
When is the event?
Oh, it is on January 29th. January 29th. It's a Saturday, at least in the United States, it's a Saturday. And yes, it'll be from around 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. PST. But all the details will be on the event, so I'll definitely drop that link right at the end here. So stay tuned for that, and I'll be sharing about it a lot in the next few weeks. So set that day aside, get your tickets. It's going to be super fun. But yeah, it's going to be beautiful because it's actually these sciences, but made very understandable, palatable, and usable in our daily life. That's kind of like what we were discussing, what our goal is how does astrology actually affect my life, and then how can I actually use it, right? How can I use it to empower me, to transform the daily, and Ayurveda as well, these easy, simple ways we start to live the Ayurvedic lifestyle, live in harmony with the nature, with the planets in our solar system, right? It's going to be really beautiful. I'm just going to check up on the comments here.
Yeah, so everyone feel free to drop any questions about any subjects. We're open to discuss literally anything. I saw one person asked a question at the beginning, do you guys practice Kriyas? So maybe you could jump into that first.
Yes. Elise is asking me to practice Kriyas. What Kriyas are you talking about? There's so many different Kriyas. So I just wanted to clarify which ones you were referring to. Hi, Harish and Francisca and Ben. Great to have you guys here. Sydney, Jason, what's up? Reggie, hi, welcome. Bangladesh, Neeraj, welcome. And Happy New Year, thank you. Hopefully you guys are having a great New Year as well. Oh, is the video quality not coming through for some of you guys? Let me know. Hopefully it's not that bad. I know my signal's not great right now, so hopefully it's all right. But yes, please send in your questions. Oh, here we got one. Satya Lok, how do you get Kundalini energy to go from your head back down to your lower back? It's made me have psychosis. So I think he's saying like it's traveled up and he wants to bring it down because it's giving him like mental imbalances. Is that correct?
Yeah, so when it comes to grounding your body, grounding in your body, the cosmic energies, I want to share that it's all got to do with how much your spinal cord can handle, right? And when it comes to strengthening your ability to hold energies in your system, there's infinite things that you can do to help. What I am getting as like a for you kind of a download, I think that something that you can do is sit on the ground, like walking on earth barefoot, sitting out in nature and tuning in, because I feel when we get overwhelmed, especially in the spiritual zone, the truth is it is mind which is getting overwhelmed and not the body. And it's amazing how powerful what we believe we're experiencing can be. So first and foremost, I'm not trying to invalidate your experience, but I would urge you to become more aware that is this truly a physical experience or is this the mind, right? Because psychosis is not something that's a body experience. So blaming the wrong thing, blaming Kundalini at your crown because you're going through a mental disturbance, I would say you're looking at the wrong source.
Yeah, I love that. I like that perspective a lot. I totally resonate with that. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Let us know. Okay, we got, is there Ayurveda for gum health? Maybe tooth enamel or gums starting to recede? Yes, there absolutely is. There's herbs for this that we use. One in particular, very commonly that we use for gum health is triphala. Triphala is a very, very common used as a tooth powder and a mouthwash. So either you mix it with water and gargle with it, swish with it in your mouth. Really amazing for your oral hygiene and for the gums. You can also scrub the gums with it. Same with haritaki. Both of those herbs I have on my website, anandaayurveda.org. But also neem. Neem is really, really wonderful as a tooth powder as well, traditionally used in India as either chewing on the actual bark, kind of as a toothbrush and mouth cleaner, or utilizing the neem powder as a tooth cleanser.
I've heard a lot about
but there's
oil pulling.
Mm-hmm. Oil pulling is a big one.
Does that have an effect on gum bleeding?
Yes, oil pulling is really helpful. We were like just talking about that, I think. Oil pulling is really beneficial. It's kind of like, I would describe similar quality to flossing because it's literally getting in those grooves of your teeth and gums. So it can help with gum health as well. You can use plain coconut oil and swish that around for up to 15 minutes. Super amazing for that on the daily. Here, we're getting a lot of questions. Let me scroll back. Sorry, I'm like always so low quality with my bumping around the camera. Okay. Prasiddha. Oh, wait. NEERAJA and Prasiddha. Yes. Is there a way to lose weight using spiritual methods? You want to answer that?
If you're making a distinction between physical life and spiritual life, I think that's already off track, right? So you moving your body is spiritual practice. You attending to the self through self-love, growing your energy physically, doing things that expand you on a physical dimension is not something separate than spiritual life. To me, there's
Right.
no such separation. There's no spiritual life or spiritual methods and life and life methods. They're one and the same and ultimately practical. If you feel stuck in the inner space, do something outside with your body in the world and you'll find your inner space breaks through. If you have stuckness in your outer space, sit inside. Go to the spot where it's easy. Be like a river. When it hits a rock, it doesn't try and go over the top, it flows around it, right? So go for the easy track, not the complicated and confrontational path.
Yeah, absolutely. And really like the context of or another kind of angle on it, right, too, is like, does conscious decision have the ability to change the body? 100%. Like 100%. This is practice. This is like kind of the whole basis of a lot of the yogic sciences, is like the ability for conscious decision to modify and change the body and manipulate the body. And it's very, very much a real thing, whether it comes to flexibility, strength, power, whatever it is. That's a big part of yoga, is like the ability of the consciousness to channel through the body. So yeah, just keep that in mind too, that there's a lot of power that you hold just in your mind and consciousness to change the body.
Something else I would just like to invite you to do if you're attempting to have a physical shift using consciousness is eat with total awareness. Don't turn on a TV and eat, and don't look at your phone and eat, and don't have a conversation and eat. Only eat, and eat totally, and watch yourself eat. I promise you will slow down overeating. You'll have such a different experience. Each bite itself is like an entire universe when you're watching with real awareness. And I find that there's a natural ebb and flow to the human body's consumption, which is that eating and refraining from eating are both aspects of life that have to balance each other, in the sense that fasting is so you can feast.
Yeah.
Eating should be a celebration, and fasting should be a method that allows you to enjoy eating when you're eating, and when you're not eating, it should be from conscious, powerful decision, and it shouldn't be crippling or putting you into powerlessness.
So funny. I just like talked. That was my class last night that
Oh,
I
wow.
taught, was literally our healing our relationship with food, and I like talked like literally all about that. It's so funny. Oneness. Okay, somebody was asking, what is our opinion on Christianity and Islam? Yes.
Dang, that's a loaded topic.
I know. Do we want to get into that today? I don't know.
I don't see why not. As far as I'm concerned, right, when it comes to any and all religious belief systems, it is your choice to believe something or not. I have no personal conflict with anyone choosing any path for themselves. However, it doesn't mean that I'm going to choose that path myself, right? So what I experience and practice might be outside of the realm of Christianity or Islam as far as you experience it. But as far as I see it, not a single person who is Christian is experiencing, believing, or fall at the same point on the path. Their experience of Christian scripture or Jesus, or in the case of Islam, the Quran and Muhammad, and how that becomes an experience for them. No one is experiencing the same thing. Everyone's experiencing a unique reality. So follow your truth, follow your experience, and I think you can't go wrong. If it leads you there, that's because there was something for you to gain from it. And if it leads you in a different direction, that's because you've moved into a new expansion. You're looking for some other answer or experience.
Love that. Nothing else to say. Nothing else to say. That's very, very true. Okay, wow. We are really getting back here. Sorry, we're backlogged here, guys. Give me a second to catch up. Are you still a follower of Swamiji, Nithyananda? Yes, absolutely. We or I can speak for myself, but I know NEERAJA also loves, honors, and respects Swamiji deeply, and we always will. We always will.
There was a question that was before that looked interesting.
What are some ways to breathe or breathing techniques that will make us feel regulated to relieve tension?
Ooh.
One of my, there's just so many, right? The breath is like our ultimate power. There are so many amazing pranayama techniques in the yogic scriptures. One of my all-time favorites and go-tos is Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. That's like my go-to. I have a whole tutorial video on that on my channel, so you can check that out. I don't know if you have one that you resonate with that you want to share.
As far as breathing practices, what practice, man? We're all breathing. We can't stop it, at least on purpose. We can't even make it happen out of rhythm with the existence. I feel breathing is the beautiful bridge that links all of us together. And when it comes to experiences or breakthroughs through breathing, I can only share from my own life, which is that I am in a 24/7 state of vipassana. I watch my breathing. I breathe in my belly. I don't breathe in my chest. I breathe very deeply in my stomach. And the experience of simply watching breath happen of its own accord has liberated me from huge amounts of stress, mental chatter, physical experiences of worry or tiredness or lack. All kinds of things have exploded simply by watching my breath, not doing anything to change its rhythm. And that's all I can share from my side.
Beautiful. Yeah, because that's like always the basis we learn in yoga and Ayurveda as well, is like deep abdominal breathing, because so much, even that basic level of breathing we've gotten away from. Like we all breathe very tightly in our chest and carry it in our shoulders a lot, and even that itself is like not the natural way our body breathes. So such a great place to start is like bringing your awareness to that, bringing the breath all the way to the belly.
And to hit that last question, difference between chest breathing and belly breathing: one's in the chest, one's in the belly.
Yeah, answer with a little pizzazz, but yeah, basically what it is you are, on the inhale, you bring your belly should be expanding and filling, and then on the exhale you start to compress the belly, letting the air, and then the chest follows on the exhale. Well, most of the time we're only bringing our breath here, so it's like this short rib cage kind of breathing and shoulder breathing, very shallow. And it's a good way to measure is laying down, actually putting your hand on your belly and then watching it, moving it up and down as you go. And it actually sometimes takes a little bit of adjustment because we're used to breathing very, very shallow. Chewing black sesame seeds, yes, amazing for your teeth enamel. It's a big practice in Ayurveda, Sydney. We answered that. Okay. Is there a recommended diet to best connect with Earth and the universe? I'm of East Indian ancestry but grew up on a Western diet. Could Eastern diet help me reconnect to my roots? Oh, beautiful question. I wouldn't say it's like Eastern Western diet, but I would say that how we connect to the earth, how we connect to our own selves, our ancestry, etc., is eating per our natural constitution, for our dosha. That's why Ayurveda is so powerful, because it's uniquely aligned to each one of us, which plays a part actually in our family's history, our ethnic history, and our unique constitution as well that's developed in our mind-body personality. So it takes into account all of these things, and it's all about balancing the elements. So it looks at what elements are present in our day-to-day, in the season around us, in the climate we live in our minds, in our bodies, and then what foods will balance those elements out, what foods will bring the elements we want more of or less of. So Ayurvedic diet, definitely a great place to start, and we are going to be talking all about that in our workshop at the end of the month, actually. Like, that particular thing will be something I go into a lot in my section of the workshop, so join us for that. I think it'll be really enriching.
I'll throw out a little alternate thought current when it comes to what you asked on diet. I feel like your body's intelligence far exceeds the mind's intelligence. It's been around billions of years longer. And if you have the capacity to listen consciously to your body, it tells you everything you need to know. When you eat something that it doesn't like, it lets you know with irritation, gas,
Right.
disturbances, feeling low energy, and all that. If you just listen and tune and choose what makes you feel best, I don't think you can go wrong.
Yeah, 100%. And that really is like the basic framework for Ayurvedic diet. It's always like is like how we feel, right? How our body feels when we consume something. Rajib is asking, sometimes whenever I feel a little pain on my toe, the impact is directly on my mind, which travels throughout my body. Do you think the whole of the body and mind is connected 100%?
Absolutely.
I think you answered that question, Rajiv.
Yeah, I believe that all is contained within all else, and not just your whole body and mind aren't two things. The entire universe and your body and mind aren't three things. They're all happening as a simultaneous expression of life itself. Your life as the toe, the message of pain going through the body, and the mind, which manifests that into a thought current, are all one and the same source expressing itself in unique formats.
Love that. Where was I? Sorry, y'all. Scrolling. Okay. Wow, we got a backlog here, bro. We got a lot of questions. Okay. Is there a way to grow energy to allow self-healing meditation methods or even yoga? I'm not quite clear on that question. Parm. Sorry, I'm not quite sure what you're asking there. Qigong is harnessing of the cosmic energy with the flow body. Beautiful. Have you watched Sadhguru videos?
Yes, indeed.
Yes, sir. I have seen some of them. True. Conscious eating, yes. Okay. How often should you cycle Haritaki, or can you take it every day? You can take Haritaki every day. The body does not build up, tolerance or intolerance to it. If at the minute, like maximum, every few years, you can take maybe 1 week where you can stop taking it if you're concerned. But daily consumption of Haritaki, Triphala, ashwagandha, or any herbs that fall into our Rasayana category of herbs, which are the rejuvenatory herbs, they're ones that we are inclined to take daily and can take daily as routine. Let's get back here. I really wish I didn't have to scroll in here. Okay, here we go. Have you guys ever heard of Jain Dharma? Oh, indeed, of course. I have some friends here in this area who I work with who are like part of the Jain community, and so beautiful, such beautiful beings. Obviously, they're part of Dharmic faith as well, so we have so many connections as Hindus with them, and beautiful tradition, in my opinion.
I absolutely love and respect all traditions, to be honest. They're all like different flowers in the garden of life. You can't compare a rose to a daisy. You can't compare a lotus to a tulip. They all smell and look and express uniquely. I think that they all contain extreme beauty for those who go to the very depth of its pointing, where it's pointing at for you to reach.
Yes, beautiful. What are your opinions on kombucha? Kombucha is overhyped in our society. It is really unhealthy, actually, most of the time. It's super high in sugar. Fermented food in general is supposed to be taken in extreme moderation, as per Ayurveda. And Pitta constitutions get very aggravated by it, so keep that in mind. I don't recommend it being consumed very often. Are you guys vegan or vegetarian? I am vegan.
Yes, sir.
He is vegan also. Yes, we are. We have been for quite a while. Okay. NEERAJA, are you still trading Forex? Lucas is asking.
Yeah, occasionally I do indeed use that skill set.
Yes, mindful advice, great video. Thanks. Your deep experience with Lahiri anymore, and do you practice a form of Kriya? Forgive me if you've already stated.
Ooh, that's very interesting.
I still feel extremely, and I always will feel extremely connected to Lahiri Mahasaya. I have just a soul connection with him, such a beautiful being. And funny you bring this up, because I was just talking to my friend the other day, and I was saying, like, I really got to start doing the Kriya that he literally initiated me in. Like, what am I doing with my life? Why haven't I started doing that yet? So I'm about to start practicing it. It's an intense one. It's the nose Kriya, where you pull the cloth through the nose. So I'll be letting you guys know how that goes.
How lovely.
Yes.
Yeah, there's so much in the science of Kriya Yoga, and I think that anyone who travels that path finds multi-dimensional experience flowering. I know that the very secret reality initiated originally by Shiva himself and reawoken through Maha Avatar Babaji is the most direct method to awakening one of the most direct methods to awaken consciousness I've ever discovered personally. I think that following the truth, though, is listening to what is really shared in these passings on, which is that you have to receive this as initiation, a direct experience from a being who's living that state. So instead of urging towards attempting practices, I urge you to reach the sources who are living that truth itself and allow that to flower organically from then.
Beautiful. Somebody was asking your favorite story of a Hindu god or goddess.
Ooh.
I would love for you to share it.
Oh, so many.
This guy has amazing stories. He's very, very well versed on the Puranas. I always love your stories about all he always teaches me lots more.
So I'll tell you a story about one of my favorite beings in the universe, because I don't find them as concepts as much as I find them as beings I get to experience. And so I have a deep connection with Lord Venkateshwara. He's the deity of Tirupati, Tirumala, and an incarnation, an expression of Mahavishnu in the cosmos. So just one story that might shed light on the sweetness of the cosmos is that when he incarnated, he was actually following Lakshmi, his wife, consort, however you want to put that in the word. She descended onto the earth, and he took a form and buried himself. So Lord Shiva incarnated as a cow in the king's herd of cows, and every day Shiva, that cow, would walk off the other direction up the mountain and empty his udders into the anthill and keep Vishnu sustained off that milk. And so then one day the herdsman of the king followed that cow, realizing that one of his cows was missing every day, and he saw that it was emptying its udders in this anthill. He thought it was crazy or something was wrong with it, so he went to swing an axe and actually kill this cow. And Vishnu, who was in the anthill, out of extreme love and oneness, wouldn't allow that blow to hit Shiva, the cow. And so he himself manifested forward and took that blow of the axe on his face. And seeing that itself, shocked the shocked the herdsman or whatever, and he actually had a heart attack. It's like the oneness of life is told so sweetly through this story. When you express through love, when you take responsibility for things happening around you, that's the nature of God. And when you see violence expressed, it's always on ourself that the violence ultimately falls. It's never on if you're violent on someone else, the truth is you're hurting yourself tenfold than the person. So
yeah, always. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that with us all. So somebody said, where we go? I found it a second ago. We got a lot of questions, I know. Do you practice Jalabasti? Oh, yes. I love me some enema. Those of you guys that know, I have some videos on it on here. Enemas are so wonderful. Such a wonderful Kriya practice for keeping the body healthy, light, detoxed. Just amazing. So good for digestion. I just had COVID. Any tips to recover from the side effects and cleanse the body from the virus? I wish I could share more about that on here. YouTube does not allow me to do so. If you'd like to work with me, you can set up a consultation call. I also do free 15-minute calls, so I can cover some stuff with you on there. The link is in the description of this video after I share it, and on all my other past videos, so we can chat more, or you can message me on Instagram. Yeah, I know, Saranko, we got a lot of questions. This is great, though. Thank you guys for engaging and sending us all this questions. Francisco, this will be up. This will be saved later, so you'll definitely be able to watch it. NEERAJA's answers are exceptional.
Oh, I thank you.
Oh, so exceptional. Yes, they are indeed, huh? Hi. Have you seen yogis using their Shakti to do supernatural things? Oh, oh yes, to the maximum. We have seen some absolutely mind-melting Shaktis when we lived in India, especially around Swamiji, around his disciples, the Bala child saints who manifest absolutely incredible Shaktis of the third eye, including blindfold reading, powerful body scanning, remote viewing, healing, moving of objects, basically what would you call telekinesis, I guess, is the word. That was probably one of the craziest things I've seen. Oh, and materialization. Can't forget about that one. Oh my goodness. That's some crazy... That stuff will definitely make you realize you are not the mind. Whoops.
I would also like to share that I think ordinary life itself is also too supernatural. Like, how is it? How is it happening? How is this happening? How does the universe get to talk through this here body and you're on the other side able to live in some form and receive it through a little cell phone or laptop? I think that's a miracle, supernatural in itself. Everything to me is miraculous.
Oh, I love that. Great to see you both. I'm going to watch later. My question, how's NEERAJA's cat doing? Blessings. Which cat?
I'm like, did I have
No,
a cat?
which cat? I'm wondering. You must have at some point been interacting with a cat, but I don't know which one. Strategon, if you're getting diarrhea from it, I would definitely recommend refraining from taking it, because either it's a bad batch or your body's for some reason having a uncommon reaction to it. So please refrain from taking it until further notice. Will it be possible to physically meet Swamiji? We all will find out. We will all find out. The mystery awaits. Deg Bhavan Singh, is Haritaki high in Vata? No, it is actually extremely Vata pacifying and balancing. Haritaki is one of the ultimate herbs we use for people who are Vata constitution, Vata predominant, or currently have a Vata imbalance. It's extremely beneficial for balancing Vata. It moves all 5 layers of Vata through the body. So all the 5 layers we have of the different tissue levels, it moves that prana assimilation all the way through to the apana vayu, which is the last vayu, which moves our bowel movements right out of our body, etc. And it moves that beautifully. That's why it's so good for digestion, constipation, etc.
Down more?
Oh, whoops. Thank you. Which Hindu god are you attracted to? I think we mentioned some, but I mean, I'm attracted to every being that exists. I have some type of love or connection with, as on now, that I've discovered.
And I believe each one of you are gods and goddesses, and I'm also attracted and love each one of you for your unique embodiment here on the planet. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Can you get initiated by a guru astrally? Oh, 100%. There are so many stories of this, because gurus are never limited to physical frame. So there's so many accounts of dream initiation, astral initiation, experiences in meditation, experiences physically, non-physically, even via the internet, etc. So many possibilities there.
There's no limit to consciousness.
Right.
No rule to bind it.
Saranka, what does your name Prasiddha mean? Prasiddha means, my full name, Manitya Prasiddhananda, it means extremely well-known or famous as a blissful being, as Sadashiva. Difference between Shiva and Krishna. Just different avatars of each other? Why does the Bhagavad Gita only talk about Krishna? I've always wondered this.
That is a lovely question. I urge you to read the Narayaneum. The Narayaneum is something that, a scripture that you could read where it reveals the real truth that Narayana, Vishnu, and Rudra, Shiva, are not two separate things. They are the same principle of consciousness embodied as two. The universe doesn't have separation as such, except in expression, except in the outermost layer. In the skin level, which you guys are seeing of me on the screen, I can look like a separate thing than you. On the depth level inside, you and I are one and the same experience. Truth, light, bliss, consciousness.
Hey. Sarg said, love when you try to put on an accent. Do you believe in the metaphysical properties of crystals? I believe in the metaphysical properties of everything. So crystals are very much a beautiful manifestation of consciousness, in my opinion. And even if you want to talk science at a scientific, biological level, there's tons of evidence to show how crystals have a unique ability to actually hold frequency, hold different frequencies. They are like conductors of energy because the way that crystals are formed, the way that these stones, precious stones, are formed, right, geologically, allows them to be superconductors of, electrical energy. So they very much hold different properties, different energies. This science has even been talked about for millennia within Hinduism, within Vedic sciences. Astrology in particular talks a lot about the use of precious stones and gemstones and like what energies they hold and connect to, what planets those can connect to. So I'm very into that. I believe in it for sure.
I would say literally every tradition itself has some connection to the elements of the earth being
right.
Absolutely significant in day-to-day life.
So true. Why do people think psychedelics are the truth?
That's a great question. So, you can take this from many angles.
Yeah.
I will share from this perspective that if you have the deep seeking in you to know what you are, who you are, there is nothing that stands in the way of that. The door has been ever open inside you. The answer is never without, it's within. And with conscious awareness, the truth that the body and its chemistries are outside of you, what you are, the body is outside of that. So working on that which is outside of you is never going to shift the truth of what's within you. So chemical experience of emotions, states, spaces, and experiences are all actually outside of consciousness in the sense that in its purity, in its unspoken reality, which is silent. It's that truth can't be put into words. However, whatever path you've been on, if you've used those substances or if you seek to, just know that be conscious about everything you do in life and you'll find your route. What it means for you, is it good, bad, right, or wrong for you, is something that you're going to have to discover on your own.
And that's the truth at the end of the day. That is the absolute truth. Hey, did you guys hear about the Agni Mani stone of Krishna? I was one of the first people to debut the stone. There was also a meteorite found with the Shiva lingam in the type in the temple. And I have the meteorite lingam. Have you heard about this?
No, I have not.
No, we have not heard about it. Very cool. Whatever you're referring to sounds very fascinating. Final question before I leave, Reggie's asking, have you heard of Adi Shankara? And if you have heard of that blessed being, what is your thoughts on his philosophy?
Adi Shankaracharya is an embodiment of something which goes far beyond philosophy, and if you study what he lived and experienced, I think you'll find that none of it has got to do with the mind or philosophy, and all of it is spontaneous truth being sung through his being, like an empty bamboo. Like the universe itself is singing through Adi Shankaracharya and many of the other recognize the ultimate state of their own being, where they surrender into the cosmic reality and it takes over. So from there, everything that's emanating out is for everyone who's present with them, and also everyone who's going to consciously interact with that thing, right? So what you discover from connecting with Adi Shankaracharya might be unique to every other human on the planet, and I urge you to experiment and find out what that has for you if you're so attracted to it.
Yes, it is my brother. This is my brother, Nithyanandam. Does Ayurveda have healing methods similar to Qigong or Reiki, where you heal someone with just internal energy? Yes, 100%. An entire branch of Ayurveda is related to healing of the consciousness or spirit, all of which are much more subtle therapies, as we call them, which includes energy healing, sound healing, use of precious stones, metals, etc., use of meditation therapies, use of yoga therapies, use of breath, pranayama, right? Deity connection as well, visualizations, color therapy. All of these things are part of Ayurveda. So there are many metaphysical and subtle therapies that we utilize to heal the self. Absolutely. It's very, very beautiful and very comprehensive. Here we go. Yes, this is my brother. Did you guys hear about the James Webb Space Telescope? No.
I've seen briefly
I don't
about
think
it.
so. Not much. Does each Hindu god or goddess connect to a different chakra, and do they connect to a certain planet?
That's really interesting.
I know there are deities that connect with planets. The planets are deities in themselves, actually, right? Which is something maybe you could touch on.
So as far as Vedic astrology is concerned, the Dashavatara, the 10 incarnations of Vishnu, from the Matsyavatara all the way up to Kalki, right? So all those 10 different incarnations are all manifestations of each of the Navagrahas, the 9 planets. And so as an example, Rama is the incarnation of Surya, the sun, and Krishna is the incarnation of Chandra, the moon. Sri Varaha, the boar avatar, is the incarnation of Rahu. So there's a intermingling of all of these things, because the truth is all of those beings in planet form and in God form are sitting inside you. And just like you, they were sitting inside each one of these beings also when they lived.
Very, very cool. I like that perspective. Fastest way to a mystical experience. Fast track to enlightenment, baby. It's an interesting question. It's an interesting question. I don't know. What comes to my consciousness is just the simple truth that a mystical experience is always in the now. So there is no other fastest way than remembering that you're in it. That's really all I would think of or have to say.
Absolutely. I think that what you're asking is truly an invitation into your own heart, into the empty reality, the truth that sits inside you. And it's not something else. So seeking for it, seeking for an experience is a veil between you and that reality. In fact, if you just stop in this moment itself, now, whatever you are silently unfolding is the experience, is the mystical truth itself. Seeking for it itself can be a barrier between us and that which we are. It's like you're inside your home, but you're asleep. And so you're dreaming that you're outside your home.
Right.
It doesn't require that you find a path and walk all the way home and open the door and go inside.
You're there.
It requires you to open your eyes and wake up from the dream. You never left home.
Never an outside experience. Exactly. Somebody was asking, Do you believe Jesus Christ and Mary are ascended masters? Tina, I'll just speak for myself. Yes, I do believe that the being we refer to as Jesus, who was much different, I think, than what most people believe his life to be, regardless, his consciousness, um, his embodiment here in the physical, what I believe is that he studied Kashmir Shaivism and was very much taught from Eastern tradition, from Dharma, and then brought that back to the Middle East, back to the Jewish culture, etc. of his time, and was very much in a state of higher consciousness, what we could call enlightenment, some level of self-realization, and shared that with his followers. And I believe his mother, being the vehicle for his consciousness to enter the world, was also in a very elevated state of consciousness. Those are just my musings. Okay. Scrolling back here. Hello. Great respect for what you do and inspired by your teachings. Having said that, I'm having a hard time. You are a follower of Mr. Nithyananda. Any perspective? Jay, I would just ask yourself, what makes you have a hard time with it? Where do those roadblocks come from internally? Because if you're resonating, right, many people have shared this, and I'll always say, if you're resonating with me and what I teach, right, or what I share, I should say, and my consciousness on the channel, or whatever you want to call it, all of this is one and the same from my master, from my guru, and where I was initiated from, and the beauty of the tradition which I have been blessed to experience. And so I would say those inherent biases are quite often, if not 99%, 99.99% of the time, from a lack of direct experience, I should say, with that being, and maybe just consuming others' opinions online, which is very far from the truth. So I would say just explore that with curiosity and an open mind, and actually try to let go of any conclusions that you might have come to about anyone, really, but especially enlightened beings. Okay, here we go. Where were we? Does your brother have a channel?
Oh, I plan actually to be making one very soon. Again, I had a YouTube channel for quite a significant period of time, but it fell out of being a part of my life that felt integrated to where I was at the time. So I removed that channel for my own spontaneous freedom, and here I sit. So yeah, I look forward to making another channel. At the moment, I am doing collaboration videos on another channel, which we'll drop the link to that in this video after it posts off the live.
Yes.
And so you could check out those there on astrology and tarot.
Beautiful. Beautiful. We will definitely share that. Hi, Leia. How are you? Okay, one last thing I wanted to share, and then we're going to log off because it's been a while, and I'm going to let my poor brother get some food inside of his belly, and we'll carry on with our day. But thank you all so much for your questions. I saw another question that was related to astrology, and on that note, I'm just going to plug it again. We're going to be doing a workshop. Me and this beautiful being, NEERAJA, are going to be doing a workshop at the end of this month on January 29th. So please stay tuned for that. Mark that in your calendars. I will, as soon as we log off here in just a minute, I will put the link for the Eventbrite where you can get your tickets. It's going to be a full day workshop full of so much amazing information on how to utilize and empower yourself with Vedic astrology and Ayurveda in your daily life, all about the universe that is inside of us. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
Thank you so much for NEERAJA to being on here and answering all your beautiful questions. It's
been a blessing to feel all of you in this stream of consciousness that's happening, as listening and question asking on that side, and listening and question answering on this side. So thank you all. It wouldn't have been what it was without your presence. So you're just as much a part of this as us. So it was a blessing on my side. I'm grateful to have gotten to connect with all of you. Yes, me too. It's always such a
cool thing. I love doing lives because exactly what you mentioned. You can really feel all of the different consciousnesses and the connections coming through and getting to interact with you guys. Although I don't have your pictures, I can still feel your energies and in that interaction. So it's very beautiful. Thank you all. Take care, everybody. So much love and blessings from us. And we will see you on the next video. Bye.